can you add something on it, Srinivas, or for QA?
So QA, my first impression, and I already mentioned that, in fact both of us did mention that, Saral, is this is not a paper where you can keep looking at getting the easier questions. In fact, the normal strategy that we tell the students, at least I advise all the students, is look, don't read lengthy questions, come back to it later, and any topic of not your choice, leave it, come back to it if time permits. But if you go by that strategy, I think the paper will get over in about 15 minutes and you'll start coming back with everything else left out. So normally what happens is in around 20-25 minutes time, a good student will be able to go through the entire 22 questions, but probably attempt around 8 questions or 10 questions, and then he'll have another 15 minutes, another 6 questions or so. So 16 to 18 questions, that's how the attempts go. But this time, I don't think that would have happened. Even if you spend the first 25, even 30 minutes, I don't think in the first round a student could have attempted more than 6 or 7 questions. 7, 8 max number of questions that could have been attempted. Last 10 minutes, probably another 3, 4 questions. So overall, the paper was not an easy one compared to the morning slot. In fact, I would say it is like the last year or a little easier than last year, but yeah, it is comparable more to the last year than what I heard about the morning slot. In fact, Cyril, our students were saying that the paper was similar to our mock 20, the very last mock that we gave in the morning slot, that is.
Oh, that's great.
The reason why I'm talking about that is because normally all institutes, and we do that too, the last mock we make it easier so that it's a confidence booster to a student. So typically, deliberately, we keep the sections easier. So the QA section was easy for us, and if students are comparing the morning slot to the easier section of mock 20, I can understand how easy it was. But this was by no stretch of imagination like that.
No. I even did not find Quant easy. I mean, as we discussed, no question was a sitter. Even the questions from arithmetic were difficult. Even questions from algebra were difficult. So geometry, I found 1 or 2 questions easy. But there was no single question from number system I saw. You can say that one question from right, wrong and unanswered questions, you might put it in number system. But even that question was extremely difficult.
It was not straightforward. It was not straightforward.
Yes, it was a difficult question, and answer for that is 28. So many people are actually waiting for it कि कुछ questions के answer बता दीजिए. Probably this is the main reason they are looking at this session कि एक बार questions के कुछ answer मिल जाए तो कुछ idea मिल जाता है. So I, Srinivas sir, Gaurav sir, we all have already talked about it. कुछ questions हम लोगों ने लिख लिए हैं. I'll be giving you the answers as well. Little idea about the questions along with the answers, so that you can get some idea कि क्या हो रहा है, क्या नहीं हो रहा है. Okay, so let me just talk about these. Okay, so first question, there was a question of AP series where he talked about initially it is 100, finally it is 1000, then one
insect and
out of
organism.
10 was,
some organism is multiplying.
Some organism it reproduces and something like that. So the answer to that question was 19, as we have got. That was first question. Of course, about the factorial question, which is 15,000 factorial divided by...
This I think was the only easier... in fact, I can classify this as a sitter. I don't think there's anything else, any other question that comes as a sitter directly. Probably a polygon wala aayega shayad, but that also will take a little bit more time compared to this. But I think this is the only one which is like you can do it in 30 seconds and move on.
और ये भी हमें रखना पड़ रहा है क्योंकि और सिटर मिल ही नहीं रहा, तो चलो इसको सिटर बोल लेते हैं. बट एज वी बोथ टॉक्ड अबाउट इट कि जब हम लोग कर रहे थे हमें खुद भी डाउट हो रहा था, अरे यार 7 आंसर है क्या, उसके ऊपर वाला नंबर चेक करते हैं एक बार. वो भी वी हैव एक्चुअली डन इट. So there was a question of P and C in which 0, 1, 2,
Correct.
3,
4,
4 and 5 digits are there. So I think the answer to that question was 1200, if I'm not wrong.
1440 था शायद उसका.
अच्छा, तो मेरा और गौरव सर दोनों का 1200 आया.
So we have 4-digit numbers, 5-digit numbers and 6-digit numbers.
हाँ, वो सारे गिने हम लोगों ने, तो उसके हिसाब से एक बार फिर दोबारा चेक करेंगे. मतलब आपका 1440 आया. हाँ,
1440 because 5-digit numbers and 6-digit number answer तो same रहेगा, so into 2 हो जाएगा. And sorry, 5 and 6 and only 4-digit numbers is what you need to calculate. And 4-digit numbers में 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5 can come in the first place. And baki anything else can come. So I think I got that as 240 plus 600 plus 600, something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I remember it as
240 plus 480 plus 480, something like that.
अच्छा, okay.
चलिए वो
we'll figure that out.
इसका ये आंसर आए. हाँ जी, तो उसके बाद there was a question of simple interest as well, in which he said that
6%, 10%, 1%.
6%, 10%, 1%. In how many years the interest would be equal to the principal? I think it was coming out to 50 years. We got 50. I mean, I and Gaurav, Srinivas.
I got it as 20, I believe.
Acha, the return came out to be 0.3, and then we divided the principal by 0.3, and somehow we got 50 by that.
I remember it as 20. I don't know if 50 is correct there. I don't know. I could have made a mistake too. Okay.
Acha, many people are saying 20. So looks like 20 is correct then. बहुत सारे लोग 20 कह रहे हैं. So looks like 20 is correct then. Okay. So after that, then the next question was, it was once again a very long question, na? This was an AP series given to us, and he did not ask the sum, he asked the sum of the sum of the series.
Correct. First of all, to understand that there are two parts in the difficulty. First, students should understand what is the meaning of the question. Understand what is the series being formed. After understanding...
I mean, this symbol in itself.
So normally CAT क्या करता है, if there is a question which is difficult to understand, it is easy to solve. This is not like that. First of all, understanding that series is difficult, and once you get it, you'll realize the solving of the series is also not easy. So I think this was one of the very difficult questions in the entire paper. Not because the theory is not known, but even if you know everything, it's lengthy. That's the point in this particular
question. Still it is lengthy. I mean, we knew about it, still इतना ज़्यादा time लगा उसमें. Okay, factorial वाला question तो बता चुके हम लोग, 7 answer है, just put the values and by that you would check.
Yeah.
So we got the answer as 455 for this question. Now the next question, there was a question on triangles in which he said that there's a point D here which divides the areas in a ratio of 2:1, and it was an equilateral triangle. He asked you about the length of AD. So the answer of that question was root 7. Answer of this question was root 7.
Oh, equilateral triangle. This is an easy one then, because I somehow skipped this. Geometry is not my cup of tea.
It was given that it was equilateral.
Because equilateral है 2:1. I think the base basically is what matters there.
Then it became actually easy. So another question where he was asking AD by BE, where we got the answer as root 2 sin theta.
Yeah.
Okay, that was also one of the questions. And there was a question on regular polygon. So the sides are in a ratio of 1:2 and
3:4.
3:4. So the answer was 10 for that.
Correct.
He asked you that what is the number of sides in polygon.
Sir, we'll have to write it slightly on the below the PPT, because I'm covering the thing that you're writing.
Acha. Oh yes. I would write it on the other side. Then there was a question of cubic equation where the roots were minus r and r. There were other roots as well. The answer to that question was minus
9/2.
9/2.
Yeah.
Another question, x square minus 10 raised to the power x square minus 3x minus 10 is equal to 1.
This I made a mistake, and I'm sure quite a few students would have done the same mistake. The answer is 4 integral solutions. You'll have to figure out that even the base can be -1, which I missed actually. That's a good point you mentioned.
There is something important actually here, that exactly the same kind of question has appeared in 2019
yes,
or
it has come. It has come. This is not the first time this type of question is coming.
Yes, some quadratic to the power quadratic is equal to 1. Exactly the same question was there. So this time the answer was 4 for it. Then another question, that average of some numbers was 38, and Amit is the guy who is having the least score.
Correct.
The difference between highest and lowest of his scores, it was 20. His highest score could have been 31. The lowest score could have been 11. So 31 minus 11 was 20. Then there was a question, a person who earns 4,000 rupees per month.
Correct. So that I think was 4,400.
Right, a saving of 550 per month. So what should he earn in the last 3 months? So that was 4,500.
4,400 I guess.
Oh yes.
37 plus 700 आएगा. Yeah.
Yes. It was 4,400. Then another question, 75 questions with and a person had got 97 marks.
Yeah, this is again a lengthier one.
What can be the number of right questions? It was very lengthy. I mean, even if you make equations, after
in fact,
being lengthy, it was tricky as well.
We made a DI set on a similar basis actually. In one of our mocks, but definitely I didn't expect one part of that DI set to come as a part of Quant, because it was lengthy. In a DI set it still makes sense, because 10 minutes laga do, you'll get 4 questions or 5 questions, 6 questions, that's okay. Here it doesn't make sense, because that logic is being used only for one question and it's lengthy.
Right. Okay, so the next question after that was a question of right angle triangle in which probably two people were running and this
Correct.
side
Ha
was
ha.
60 and he was asking you about the speed of this guy.
18.
That was 18 kilometer per hour.
18.
So
Actually,
was
that could have been
maximum
done with
distance.
options also. This is one question, but again, you have to.
Oh yes, even I did it with the options actually.
So I actually formed the
Otherwise,
quadratic equation. Then instead of solving it, I started using the options. Then I realized why did I solve it in the first place? Because right angle triangle ka hypotenuse square, I used it, and then I realized anyway that number, the constant was too big for me to solve. So I thought, okay, let me make use of the options, and then it struck me after 5 seconds. Why did I not do that in the beginning itself? I could have just substituted options and been done with it.
Absolutely. And another question about voters.
Ha.
So Gaurav sir has written 62,800.
Correct. That is correct.
That's correct.
Yeah,
okay. So and yes, a student is also writing one of the questions was a plus 2
Equal to
is
6.
equal to 6. I remember that.
Maximum
Isme
and minimum
or
values. 3
maximum
average of that. I think the answer is 3 for that.
3 or 4.5. I think around that only because a plus b. Maximum and a plus b minimum. So I think maximum would be equal to 6
Correct.
when you take a as 6 and b as 0.
Correct.
And minimum would be equal to 3 when you take a as 0 and b as 3. So the average was coming out to be 4.5 I think.
No, if a is 0 and b is 6, then a plus b will be...
A0 then, no. A0 है तो b 3 होगा ना because a plus 2b is 6.
A plus 2b is 6, okay.
Oh yes, many people are also writing 4.5.
Then I made a mistake. Yeah, I made a mistake there then.
एक आपने मेरा गलत करा एक मैंने आपका गलत करा दिया. Now we are even. Okay. And also, guys, I think we have discussed around 17-18 questions till now. So please do press the like button as well. We see around 225 people are watching. Only 61 likes are there. That's not justified at all. And yes, if you have any other question in your mind, of course, you can talk about that. शायद हाँ log वाला question जरूर था. A question on logarithm. I got the answer as 47.
And that is a theta. मैंने logarithm, inequality,
That was a theta.
तीनों देख के मैंने छोड़ दिया वहीं पे.
I think the most difficult question in the whole paper. मुझे ऐसा लगा कि शायद काफी ही मुश्किल था. तो log वाले question का मेरे हिसाब से आंसर 47 आया है. बाकी एक बार लोग बताएं. कुछ बच्चे बोल रहे बोट वाला question था. Do you remember?
No, that is the same thing I think. Sailing west and south.
अच्छा यही वाला ना
18
जिसका आंसर हम लोगों ने लिखा है. We wrote the answer as 18 है ना. So log वाले का आंसर we got 47. And any other, I think there was a question of that functions as well.
Yeah, f of x square minus x.
X square minus x.
I think that was 1. The answer for that one was 1.
Okay, I don't remember the answer, but Srinivas sir says 1. But इतना पक्का है there was a series of -4, 5, -4, 5 है ना?
Yeah, correct.
Okay,
All f of
one,
even
f of
numbers
two,
was -4 and f of odd numbers was 5. So the two additions, f of g of 25 and g of f of 5, something like that, one will turn out to be f of an odd number and one will be turning out to be f of a negative even number. So you will get the same even plus odd, so 5 and -4 turns out to be 1.
I don't remember the answer, but I remember मतलब कुछ ऐसा ही.
There was one time and work. Time and work. There was one question. 3 people.
Time and work पे. Yes, 3 people. Yes. I think it was the first question in my. They can do the job in 4 days or something like that. I think for that the answer was 6 hours. I got 6 hours as the answer. They were working 8 hours a day or something like that. And
8 hours.
he asked that in how many hours that one person can do the job. So I got the answer as 6. So anyone else from the class? Shivam is also saying 6 hours. Do you remember the answer?
I actually got it higher than that because, in fact, I'm just thinking back. 4 days, 8 hours for 3 people, and now 2 people have worked for how many days was that?
I think they worked for 6 days, if I'm not wrong.
But less than 8 hours. So
they worked for 6 hours 40 minutes.
Correct, and only 2 people. So the thing is, the entire work, which means you're talking about 1 day for the third person. The entire work is completed by the third person in less than 1 day. I don't think that is possible that way. If you think back like that, because if you're saying 6 hours, so it's 8 hours per day. So you're saying that it's less than 1 day left of work left out for that one person. When 2 people are working for, I think I got the answer as 12 point something.
अच्छा, but chat में many people are getting 6. Looks like I got another answer wrong for you then.
Okay.
I'm feeling happy, not because you got wrong.
I need to check that because I thought about it. I thought about it logically also. My numbers might be off, but I'll check it once again because this I was quite sure. 6 hours 40 minutes is what they worked for, 2 people, and I just remember how many days they worked for. Anyway, I think.
Okay, there was a question of sugar syrup as well. Some people are talking about that. The answer for which was 5:6, right? I mean, half of the contents of sugar are mixed with syrup, the other one milk. Then half of the contents of that are mixed with the first one.
Left and
then
right,
half
left
of
and
the,
right.
The contents are once again put there. So finally, I think the ratio asked was, opposite of what
the typical cat.
So उन्होंने उल्टा करके पूछा, हाँ, typically cat वाला. और 6:5 भी options में था, 5:6 भी options में था. So answer to that question was probably 5:6. So that's another question. अगर और कोई क्वेश्चन याद आएगा तो मेरे ख्याल से स्टूडेंट्स ही याद दिला देंगे. अभी तक मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा. If there are, yes, there was a question of parabola as well. Right? Where he said that f of -2,
Correct.
f of 2 is 0 and f of 4 is 6.
Correct, and f of -2.
So answer to that question was, it was 24. Yes, it was 3/2 times of 16. I remember this. We got a as 3/2 and then into 16. So 3/2 times of 16, 24 was the right answer for that question.
Okay.
So someone is asking f4 वाले का शायद श्रीनिवास सर ने बताया ही है, उसका आंसर शायद 1 आ रहा है.
f of 4
इसके बारे में अगर बात करें या f of 2 की बात कर रहे हैं.
This is different one.
इसने f of -2 पूछा.
f of 4 is and f of -2 are both in the same one because f of 2 was given as 0, f of 4 was given as 6, and f of -2 was asked. I think that's what he's asking. Insane.
हाँ, ठीक है. तो इसके बारे में तो उन्होंने 24 ही आंसर था, if I'm not wrong. और मेरे ख्याल से और कोई हम लोगों को अगर क्वेश्चन शायद दिखाई देगा तो बात करेंगे. बट आई थिंक वी हैव ऑलरेडी टॉक्ड अबाउट 20-21 क्वेश्चons. You would have hardly left any. Yes, there was a question of that as well. There is a non-decreasing.
Correct, non-decreasing
A1, A2, A3.
Correct.
Up to AN, and the average of the AP was 13. So the answer of this question, though we are not very sure of the answer, but I got 3. Gaurav sir actually didn't do it. Srinivas, do you remember doing this question?
No, I didn't do this. I left this.
Because I got 5A1 is equal to 100 and A1 is 20. उसके बाद काफी लोगों को लगा कि करना क्या है, but he said it was an increasing AP, so I said that 300 by n से कम होना चाहिए था, average से तो छोटा होना चाहिए था.
Okay.
By that I got 3 as the answer. So this is one another question that I had tried. I think that should have been the last question. I think we have discussed all the questions. कुछ और भी याद आएगा तो बात कर लेंगे. Now I think we can move ahead, right?
Yeah. Let's move on to the next slide.
थोड़ा सा yes.